Good evening, the program.
Yes, sir.
Om Shri Manjunathaya Namaha. Good evening all. Myself Harish Shetty, Assistant Professor in Department of Commerce and HRDM Placement Cell Coordinator. SDM-Rotary Career Guidance and Placement Cell of the college functions with the purpose of providing guidance and assistance for the students to achieve their career goals. The cell intends to equip the students with the necessary skills to meet the needs of the job market. Our cell organizes various activities and programs to help the students to inculcate the interpersonal leadership and creative skills. As a part of this objective, we are organizing this webinar on enhance the employability skills of youth. For this program, we have with us Ms. Shalini Jayakrishnan, Head CSR, Diversity and Inclusions at Infosys BPM. As a resource person, Ms. Shalini Jayakrishnan has over 20 plus years of experience. Prior to joining Infosys, she has worked with the various multinational and Indian companies in the space of project management, banking and non-banking financial service sectors. In her current role, she has worked with the multiple universities, colleges, state governments, and NGOs to enhance the employability skills of youth in Tier 2, 3, and 4 cities and people with the disabilities. Madam, we are proud to have you as a resource person with us on behalf of the management, principals, and students. I welcome you to the session. Welcome you, madam.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for that introduction.
I also welcome Govind sir to the session. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
It's my pleasure to welcome our chief guest, Dr. B.A. Kumar Hegde, Head Department of Botany and Dean of Science. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I also welcome our placement officer, Dr. Nagaraj Pujari, and our colleagues and all my dear students who are joined through online platform. Welcome you all to the session. And now I request Dr. B.A. Kumar Hegde, sir, chief guest of this program, to speak a few words on this occasion. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Om Shri Manjunathaya Namaha. Respected resource person of the day, Shalini ma'am, and my respected colleagues in the college, Nagaraj, as well as Harish, as well as all the participants who have taken an active role in the participation of this webinar on enhanced employability skills related to the employment opportunities for the students. And I would like to give some inputs for the students to begin with. As all of you know, we are living in a competitive era. For each and everything, we have to compete now. And it's all because of the population density, the amount of, population density that we are witnessing in the nation. It has created chaos in many sectors for that matter. The conventional education, for that matter, can provide all sorts of inputs related to the curriculum, but definitely not related to the extra activities. The co-curricular and extracurricular activities and the related training programs will definitely help us to build our competency to face the challenges. As all of you know, if we come out with only the subject knowledge, it is not sufficient to face the challenges ahead. Particularly, we cannot cater the needs of the employers. For that matter, it is always essential to cope up with the better talents and better skills with us. And since the inception of SDM-Rotary Career Guidance as well as the Placement Center in our institution, we have been organizing this type of, training programs, sometime offline and sometime online. And every year, not less than 50 to 60 such vital and most qualitative type of training programs are organized for the benefit of the students. And we have been receiving very good response from various companies, and the companies have come over to SDM College Hujre, and they have definitely helped in getting the employment opportunities. So my appeal to the students is that apart from your subject knowledge, it is also essential for you to inculcate the soft skills, maybe related to the communication skills, related to the leadership activities, creativity, team building, and working in team. Your IQ, emotional quotient, everything matters a lot when you come out of the college. And when you face the real life situation, it is absolutely essential to cope up with such qualities. And I'm really happy that resource persons like Shalini Madam have come forward to train our students in this direction. Hope this particular training will enlighten the students, and it will definitely give a lot of opportunities for our students. And in the days to come, your organization will arrange for some campus recruitment program so that our students will be benefited. So with these few words, I wish all my students a very best, and I request Shalini Madam to go ahead with the presentation and her orientation program. Thank you, Madam, for participating and benefiting our institution in this regard. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. The SDM management and the faculty, and thank you to all the students for joining the session. I like sir said, it's not going to be a training session, but I will just give you a few insights that I have gained from being part of this industry and academia partnership that we've been running multiple programs, working with colleges and universities. So whatever insights I have got from furthering this program is what I've put down as a presentation, and I will be sharing that with you. So I want all the students to be, come here with an open mind, with no such prejudice or any expectations of what kind of jobs or what are we going to talk about. I just keep your minds open to all that you hear, and then I will first run through whatever I have to say, and then you can please feel free to ask me any questions, and I'm ready to answer your questions. And like sir said, we have a lot of competition in everything, but we have a huge demographic dividend in our population. And that's a plus if you look at it from a BPM industry perspective, because a lot of countries are looking forward to a workforce from India. And that's why the BPM industry has a lot of opportunities for young minds in India. So it's good in a way that we have a huge population, because we are able to service the entire globe from sitting in India in small cities like Bangalore, Hubli. We are still able to service clients across the world. That's only because we have a huge youth population, and in the youth in the segment of say 18 to 35. So that's a huge demographic dividend, and we should channelize that energy in the proper direction. Whatever it is that we want to do, there are plenty of opportunities. We have to channelize those interests and hobbies that we have also into a very fruitful career option, or you can make a living out of whatever it is that we want to do. So I will just run you through what I have for you, and any questions, any doubts, I will clear all of that at the end of the session. So just to begin with, I would just like to say it is always good to have a growth mindset. What do I mean by growth mindset? All of us come with some predefined notions, right? Whenever I go to colleges, a lot of students tell me, I have not found my dream job, so I'm not taking up this placement or that placement or something like that. So I ask them, what is the dream job you're talking about, right? The dream jobs that we have today are no more in the market tomorrow. That's how things are changing in our world. If you notice, a lot of people say that they want to, I'm not taking up this job because this is not what I want to do. I urge all of you, come to anything with an open mind, not with a fixed mindset, but a growth mindset, because today's world demands that, right? We have to be open to a lot of opportunities. Everything is changing around us. You would agree with me that earlier your grandparents, your parents were not open to online banking, right? The last 2 years of the pandemic has forced all of us to move to the online mode of banking. That's how drastic technology and changes are going to be in the future, right? You are youngsters, you are able to adapt to these technologies, changing scenarios. What about your parents and grandparents, right? It is very difficult for them to accept these kind of changes and move along with time and accept and live through these difficult times. So that's the reason why I say at your age, you should not have a fixed notion of what I want to do. This is the only job that I will do, nothing else. I will share a lot of examples when I get into the BPM industry and the kind of work and the kind of job opportunities that you have, and then I will tell you exactly why I'm saying what I'm saying. Okay, this is just to give you these thoughts, leave you with these thoughts, but I will get into more detail on why we should have a growth mindset in my in the slides further. Okay, so that's something that I definitely want all of you to understand and open your minds to. The next very important thing is our attitude. Our attitude defines our altitude. In any walk of life, it is not possible for us to live alone, do our job, and get out. It's more today because our jobs are interlinked with a lot of other stakeholders. What I do impacts a lot of stakeholders. What I do cannot be done alone. I'll need a whole team I need to work with. So there's a lot of things that come into play. And so your attitude towards anything, however small it be, is very important when it comes to the outcomes that we are looking for. So that's another very important message that I definitely want all of you to think through. I'm not saying that this change will happen, but keep your minds open to all these messages that I'm giving you right through and pick up whatever that you feel is most relevant for you. Yeah, next slide, Govind. That's about attitude. Yeah, we'll go to the BPM industry. This is something I've shared with you. So what is BPM? Business Process Management, right? So Infosys as a company, we have 4 major divisions or groups. So we have the Infosys Limited, which is Infosys Technology, the wing that works with the software that is required for transforming the client's business. The second is Business Process Management Group. What do? We transform the processes of the client and make it easier and seamless and automated and give the client the best possible outcome. I will explain BPM in detail because we are part of the BPM industry, and I will take you through the entire process of what BPM is all about. The third is our platforms division, which is called EdgeWork, and the fourth is our consulting group. So what the consulting group does is they go out to clients, understand their business, and give them a complete transformation of their business to make it more efficient. If it's technology, it will go to the Infosys Limited group. If it's a change in the process, it will come to us. And if it is a change in the technology and the platform, it will go to the EdgeWork. So they give a holistic solution to the client's business needs. And what we do for the client is make their business more robust, more efficient, and we give the customer the best possible outcome that the client desires to. Whoever the client is, for the customer of the client, that is where our end result lies. So that's what we try to make the customer the center of everything that the business does. And that's how we transform their business to make it very, very efficient. Okay, now let me just give you an idea. What is business process management? What is it all about? Right? I was mentioning to you about how you said some of us would have the desire, I want to work in a bank, right? I want to be a manager, or I want to be a senior manager, or I want to be an AVP in a bank. You will find far less opportunities for people to get into nationalized banks compared to maybe 20, 25 years ago, when there was a huge demand for banking professionals in India. Right, nationalized banks, you would find bank tests being held, bank recruitment happening. You will find far less of that happening today. The simple reason being, automation and digitization has taken over most of the industries, including the banks. Right, they have a software technology in all the banks which are interlinked, and no more manual work is required. So the requirement for manpower is also reduced drastically. You would find less jobs requirements in, say earlier it was a BCOM or an MCOM student would aspire to work in a bank. Starting from a clerical role, you would move up to being a manager, senior manager, and stuff like that. Today, you find that very few, far and few. The reason being, all this work, back end work of most of the banks are taken over by BPM companies. BPM companies like Infosys, Wipro, Accenture, TCS, IBMs, you have many companies who are doing the same kind of job. So what do? We go to the bank, we give them a proposition. We have everything automated, right from accounts receivables, payables, your bank reconciliation, everything is done automated. So what the bank does is gives this entire back office of the bank to companies like us. So where will you find the banking jobs now? It will be in the BPM companies. And these BPM companies not only work for one bank in India, but they will be having clients in different countries, different banks from different countries. So you not only know the banking laws and rules of India, but you also have an opportunity to learn about the banking laws of different countries, maybe the US accounting system, the European accounting system, maybe Australia, because you'll have to work with multiple banks. So now your knowledge base increases from not only Indian banking system, but you will have the opportunity to learn different accounting systems of different countries. And so you're ready for any kind of opportunities that come your way. That's what I mean by a growth mindset, where we don't say, I only want to get into a bank. BPM offers you all those banking opportunities on a platter. You have the option when you get into a BPM company like, say, Infosys or a TCS or a Wipro, you may be getting into the banking domain, right? We have service lines which are, banking, insurance, sales, customer service. We have a lot of service lines. So if you're interested in banking, then that's where you should be. And when you come into a company like that, like any of these BPM companies, you get trained for 3 months, a minimum of 3 months. So what would you be trained on? Soft skills, how to handle processes, and your specific project which you're going. If you're going to work for a bank, say in Singapore, you will be trained on all the laws of the land, Singapore here in this case, all the accounting nuances for that particular country. And only after 1 month of giving you intensive training, you will be put on the job to do a particular transaction for that bank. So it is not that straight away from college you will be put into the job and you will have to start working on this Singapore bank work backend. It doesn't work like that. You will be trained extensively for 3 months before you actually work on the technology and software of the bank that we have licensed. One more thing is that you have an opportunity to work in the same particular, banking, whatever role you get, for at least 18 months. You learn all the processes in the bank. You have to handle many, many transactions. Every day you are monitored on the number of transactions that you do. And at each stage you get, recognized, promoted, and you could lead teams. Lead teams in the sense you talk with the bank on the other side. Maybe in this case it's a Singapore bank. You work with them and tell them that we can make this process even simpler. We can do less physical intervention in terms of people. We could make it more automated so that the errors will be limited. So there are a lot of ways for you to think, innovate, and bring out the best solutions. You always have the support of the IT team to help you with the infrastructure in terms of the systems, the software. So all you need to do is give your ideas, and those will get translated into maybe a change in the software, an upgrade to the software, which makes things very easy, less prone to mistakes, and so the output to the customer is extremely good. So that is what I was talking about, the kind of mindset that you guys should have, right? So what is BPM about? What do BPM companies do? I'll give you a simple example of Maruti, right? Maruti Udyogs. Main job is to produce a cost-efficient and technologically advanced car. Okay, very competitive in the market. That is the main business of Maruti. So apart from that, right? Concentrating on understanding the needs of the particular country. How do I make my car most cost efficient and, of course, technologically advanced? We give them a chance to work on the core area, and anything that is non-core to their business in terms of hiring people for their company, doing their customer service, doing their legal departments, running their legal departments, which are non-core to that industry, is what is outsourced to companies like us. And that is where these BPM companies, transform that particular area and give them the best possible results. We run payrolls for companies because that is not their core area. We let them concentrate on their core area, and BPM companies will take over all these processes. How is the BPM company able to give them the best results? It is because we are working with multiple companies in the same area. We are working with Tata Motors, we are working with Hyundai, we are working with Ford, we are working with a lot of other companies. So we take the best practices from each of their competitors also and bring it into a robust solution for this company. So you don't have to invest or wait time. Maruti does not have to waste its time and energy in all these departments, right? They completely outsource the hiring to retiring process of all their employees to BPM companies. Similarly, the accounts, finance and accounts division is outsourced to companies like us. They tell us exactly what they want, and we give them the desired output, or we give them even more than what they ask for. That's why they come back to the BPM companies, because they find it more cost efficient. They get the best in the industry, because as a company, you will not be able to hire so much of talent, waste time in innovation and bringing out the best, right? So companies like us, when we are doing this day in and day out, we bring in a lot of innovation, bring in a lot of automation, make this process most robust. So that is the reason why these companies come back to the BPM companies with more work. And this happens to every sector and every company that you have in the market. Today, everybody wants to concentrate on their core strengths. They don't want to get into areas that they have to do earlier, erstwhile, where they have spent a lot of time, attrition, managing attrition, people are leaving, and they have to get newer people, train them. All that is out of their purview. All that they need to do is look at all the scientific advancements made in this area of maybe a car, how to make it electric cars, how do we make it more efficient for the best for the customer experience, enhance the customer experience. That is the area that they focus on. All other areas are outsourced to companies like us, and that's where the BPM industry has a huge potential, huge requirement for talent, and has a definite growth path. You enter at a particular level, you have a steady growth, and you would reach to be the head of the vertical, or whatever industry. Say if it's manufacturing industry, you could lead the manufacturing industry. You would have multiple clients that you're working for. So there's a lot that this industry has to offer, which most people don't know. Most people earlier thought that the BPM industry is a call center. Call center work is no more with India. It has moved to Manila and places where English is as a strength. In India, we have a lot of talent of our students are extremely good at mathematics, English. They are understanding the domain skills in terms of your accounting, your finance, accounting, your ability in science stream is very strong. So we are leveraging that strength and skills which our students have, and get a lot of work which requires that kind of skills, and not just a customer service kind of a requirement. And into India now, we have a lot of high-end jobs coming, including legal, contracting, negotiation. A lot of that work comes to India, which requires thorough understanding of the legal systems across the world, the laws of the land, and how we can negotiate with customers across the globe to get the best solutions. So it is not restricted to any of those earlier activities where people thought it was just picking up calls and doing some data entry. Whatever the client says, we sit and do the data entry. It has moved from there. More than 10 years now, We've moved to very high-end jobs. We actually give them a solution. We give the client a solution. The client never tells us what to do. The client asks for an output, and we design the entire process to meet that output. So that's why it's called business process management. We are managing the entire process. No more are we doing what the client is asking us to do. That was about 10, 20 years ago when the client was saying and we were doing. Now we have the capability, we have the strength to dictate terms to the client and tell them exactly what they need to do to make their business most competitive. So that's in short a very small example of what the BPM industry does, right? Next slide, Govind. Yeah. So what is the benefit for the company when they outsource, right, work to these? They can concentrate on their core. Like I told you, they can concentrate on their core area. They have a lot of flexibility. They just have to tell us this is the requirement, and we can match that and give them the required output. A lot of their energies in other areas can be done away with, and we as a company know what exactly has to be done, and so we do it for the company. So there's a lot of benefit that the company sees when they outsource it to specialized companies like BPM. It's just like how at home, right? We don't do everything by ourselves. We get our clothes ironed by the dhobi, we get our houses cleaned by the maids, we get the gardener to do the gardening in the house, or we have farmers to do specific. So it's the same concept where we get work done by specialized people, and ultimately the entire thing is experienced by the client or the customer. So that's a very simple explanation of what BPM industry is all about. Next slide, Govind. This is a 38 billion plus revenue making industry, which many people are not aware of. And in India, we have more than 1.3 million employees working and representing this workforce. And we are doing most of the work for a lot of countries across the globe. So just to help you understand the potential of this industry and what it has to offer for you as students. So just giving you those numbers and insights. To the next slide, Govind. Yeah. So I was explaining to you about one of the industries, right? That's the automotive industry of Maruti. So if you look at what I said, for an automotive industry like Maruti, Tata Motors, or any of those companies, our service lines, that is the BPM companies, offer them help in their finance and accounting, human resources, that is hire to retire, sales and fulfillment functions, their legal process, their customer service, any industry solutions that they require, automation, digitization of their businesses, sourcing and procurement, their raw material procurement from the best vendors at the best prices. That's where a lot of negotiation happens. Marketing and sales. All these functions get outsourced to companies like us. And this happens in various segments. You can see automotive, banking is one, capital markets, insurance is a big player. We have a lot of clients who do, our employees do a lot of work in the insurance sector, claims, redressals, all that happens from the BPM industries. The companies just bring out the different schemes that they have in their mind, which they feel is the best in the market. The running of these schemes, the servicing of these schemes are done by BPM companies. So you see that there's a huge potential, there's a huge requirement of talent in this industry. Now you have chemicals, communication, a lot of Google, Yahoo, all of them use us BPM companies for their content that is put up on the website. So a lot of BA, MA students who are good in language can make use of the job opportunities that these companies offer in technology, right? A lot of websites, all that you see when you get onto a website, say Google or a Yahoo, whatever you see content, when you're searching for something, you get a lot of content. There are people in our companies who work for them, creating this content, updating this content continuously. So there, the language skills of the employees is measured and tested. So you have opportunities for your BA, MA students in different languages also. Now you have a lot of translation that is happening in local languages. So there is a lot of opportunities for people who are creative in writing, who have the ability to do a lot of artwork. So all their skills also are harnessed by this industry. They need a lot of people who can do content. They're called content developers. They have to create a lot of content, update a lot of content. So there's a lot of work in that space. So that is where communication is very important. All of these companies, we do help with their communication bit. Energy, a lot of companies, you can go through that. Healthcare is a big one. We've integrated a lot of healthcare, we've brought everybody, all the healthcare providers on a particular platform, and it's easy for the customers to access which hospital they want to go, where is it available, what are they. You would have heard of a lot of apps, right, where developed, where people can now actually get information at the tip of their fingers. Which hospital has what facilities, what are the doctors, appointment with doctors, everything is possible on a platform. So all this integration of data, all that happens because the data is available with a lot of BPM companies, and all that is brought together to help enhance the experience of the final user. So that's how the various, you can see FMCG, a lot of companies outsource their work to us, including real estate, right? And all these are the service lines that we provide. So you will have to have expertise in any of these domains or one and more domains, and you will get all of this trainings and learning experiences and in the organizations that you work with. So there's nothing to feel, oh, I don't know what sourcing and procurement is, I don't know what sales and fulfillment is. You will learn what it is. You will learn exactly the industry type that you're going to work with, what is their requirement in terms of these skills, and then only you will be servicing those clients. So there's a lot of learning opportunities, cross-functional. You can move from, say, finance and accounting to an insurance, to a banking. You can move to a customer service. You can do anything. There are multiple opportunities, and there is a lot of learning, and people really have to be agile to be able to move across domains and build a career. There is a huge potential for career growth within this industry, and organizations give the employees the opportunity to move across domains, and you can build your expertise. You have a lot of opportunities to work with clients, work with different geographies, and learn their culture, and also you travel to those places to actually meet the clients and bring the business back to India. So there is no limit to the kind of opportunities this industry has. It is up to you and your attitude that takes your career to the next level. So that's something that I definitely want you to think over, and realize that there are so many opportunities. You would not have known of it, or even if you have known of it, you are not sure of how to navigate through various ways to reach what is that you are looking for and whatever you aim for. So we are here to support you and understand where your needs are, what are your strengths, and see where you best fit into this industry and take your career forward. So I'm just giving you very simple examples and just an insight into all that is there in this industry and this industry has to offer. Yeah, next slide, Govind. So this is just a glimpse of Infosys and how we have grown and the number of employees that we have. We've started very small, but today we are almost 53,000 plus employees. 136 locations across the world. We have delivery centers. We are working out of that, and we have at least 130 plus nationalities that we work with, which means the kind of client base that we have, and the amount of business that the clients demand. We've never had a dull moment, be it during COVID or any other time. It's only increased. Our work has only increased. Demand for skilled workforce has only doubled and tripled. The problem everywhere we hear is people are not getting jobs, unemployment. It is that they're not able to get into these kind of jobs that are available for them. And it doesn't require anything. I would run you through what are the requirements that this industry has. And it's nothing fancy, very, very basic requirements. And after which, like I told you, we always have a lot of emphasis on trainings and learning and development. So there's nothing that stops our youth in getting into this industry. And then spreading their wings into whatever it is that they really want to do. But what I always suggest all students is take whatever opportunity comes your way and start building. Once you get into a job, you know exactly what are the opportunities available in that particular market or segment. Then you upskill yourself and move to whatever it is that you like. Don't sit back and wait for that job which you're looking for and expecting to come to you. It doesn't happen that way. All whatever is there in your particular area or segment, take it up, start from somewhere, and then you can really build your career according to what you want to do. That's my sincere advice to all of you. Don't sit on the fence and wait for that dream job. It doesn't happen. You have to build and learn what it is. You really don't know, and even none of us know what is going to happen in the next 3 years, right? Whatever skills we are gaining now, we'll have to relearn and reskill ourselves to be able to meet the demand of the market, which is going to come in the next 2-3 years. We don't know what is going to happen. So we have to always be ready for that change and have our strong domain expertise in any one area, and then keep learning different areas and making that learning rich and something that you can definitely move around different segments and work around. It's not very difficult. It is very, very easy for you to navigate through the different opportunities that come by your way. And for me, example of me itself, I have moved through multiple sectors in the financial services space, right from banking, capital markets, insurance. So it is not difficult. It is just that you have to keep your mind open, learn as you go along, and keep moving. And that's the way you take your career to the next level. And plenty of opportunities. That's something I just want to reiterate. Like Sir said, we would definitely like to hear from you, and also we would be coming to your college to understand and see what kind of skills you have, so that we can leverage that with the opportunities that we have in our sector. Yeah, next slide, Govind. Yeah, this is something I explained. We have more than 53,000 employees now, 120 countries, nationalities, and different countries. Yeah, next slide. It's more of an Infosys circle. So what is the bare minimum eligibility that we're looking at for the BPM industry? Okay, at an entry level from college, you need 15 years of formal education, not correspondence, but formal education. Good communication skills, analytical skills, because that is the first level of cutoff. The reason why is because we have, like Sir said, there's a lot of competition. How do we manage competition? So the first thing we do is give you a aptitude test, which has analytics, problem solving, decision making, all of that. That is the first level of cutoff, because based on that only we need to interview the numbers and look at their communication, look at their group discussion, ability to handle teams and all that, and then go to the next level. So these are the skills that are very, very essential. Of course, MS Office, flexibility to work in shifts, ability to work under pressure, good interpersonal skills, and a team player. These are all skills that this industry requires, because we work with different geographies. The time zones are different. Now we've tried to reduce that by working, we've set up centers in those locations. So we have a center in the US, we have a center in Australia, we have a center in the UK. So most of the work that requires people to work during the banking hours of that country is taken care by them. We only do the back end work. So most of our work would be within the comfortable India timings. Very, very rarely we have some shifts that go into the late night. But again, this industry provides maximum security and safety, and women employees feel extremely comfortable working in this atmosphere, and everything is taken care of by the company. Right to a drop at your place, you'll be dropped at your place if you get late, and if your shift timing is after 8, 9, 10 in the night, after 8 o'clock, between 8 and 8 is the time where no support is provided. Any shifts, any time that you get delayed in office beyond 8 p.m., you will be dropped home. So a lot of measures have been taken by this industry, and to ensure everybody is given a fair chance to work, a lot of opportunities to grow and develop a career. So you can be very sure, like we have a lot of industries working 24/7. We have the hospitals, we have the airline industry, we have the hotel industry. So today, most of the work that we have in India is in the outsourced model. So you have a lot of people working across different time zones and working with different clients. So it's all as part of growing and enhancing your careers. And you always have the option to work during India time and give them the results in their time. So it's how you manage work and how smartly that you work around and do your work that, gives you the desired results. So these are the basic eligibility and skill sets that these BPM companies are looking at. What do I mean by good communication? We're not expecting any accented English or anything, basic understanding of the language. And the reason being, we are working with multiple other countries. So the only business language that everybody understands is English. And that's the reason, bare understanding of the English language and to be able to communicate. At the entry level, what we also see is we say, okay, if they're able to speak a bit and if they're able to understand, let's go with those, students, because they will learn along the way. But that is a must. You have to learn the language and you'll have to upskill yourself in terms of the English language. The reason being, as you move up the ladder, as when you're entry level, there will be managers, team leads who will help you, tell you what you require, maybe in your local language, because you'll have a lot of people within the teams who speak the same language, who form groups within the same communities, and that's how you will be able to hold on to your jobs. But as you grow up, you definitely have to learn how to handle the clients, because that's your career path. If you want to go to the next level, you'll have to be a team lead, you'll have to handle teams. When you move to a manager, you'll have to speak to the manager on the other side with the client, understand what he wants, if what you're doing is right, wrong. If he's asking for something else, then you'll have to understand and cascade that to your teams. So in all these circumstances, your communication has to be strong. Otherwise, at that point in time, you will feel stifled. You will feel, I'm not getting the promotion because I'm not able to communicate. I'm not able to, handle the clients. When the clients come down, they will not give you a chance. So at any point in time, your growth in the industry is dependent on how you enhance your skills as and when whatever is that is required on the job floor, and whatever your domain you choose or you get into, start building that expertise in that domain. So that's just a glimpse of what the kind of skills that we're looking at. Next slide, Govind. Yeah. So the first round, for college students, it is normally an aptitude test. And then you have English communication GD and HR round screening, where we actually look at your communication and then pass it on to whatever the department is looking at hiring, say finance and accounting. Then we shift all the BCOM and MCOM profiles to that particular domain. And then you go through a set of basic questions in accounting or finance, after which, if they feel convinced that you're able to understand the question and able to communicate whatever domain skills that you bring to the table, I think then fairly you will go through the screening process, and then hiring happens, and then you go in for training for 3 months into our Mysore campus. Our Mysore campus is where the BPM folks go in for 3 months, the IT folks go in for 6 months of intensive training. So that's the basic hiring process that we have. This is very Infosys specific. Next. So what I suggest is, we have a lot of resource material that is available. R.S. Agarwal, for one, is the best aptitude paper that if all of you will start practicing and using R.S. Agarwal and using all those topics that get covered there, I think fair chance of all of you clearing the aptitude paper, because that is the first level. A lot of material, I've put up a lot of links which you can go through as free resources which are available on the net for you to practice and better yourself in the aptitude bit, because that is the first. The second, go on next, Govind. The next is about English, right? The language. How do you listen, understand, speak the language? How are you able to read and write? So you have to keep practicing this. Only with practice. None of us are born, speaking English. We all learn the language, listen to a lot of news, TED Talks. There's a lot of resources available on your phone, the small gadget that you have. While you can use it for a lot of other things in terms of entertainment and everything, spend half an hour to 1 hour on learning the language. The more you listen, the more you understand and use the language, start speaking the language. I think that's how you better any. It's the same for any language, and you just have to take it as any other language. You don't have to make it a big thing like I'm talking in English. There's nothing fancy about it. It's just like you learn any other language. A lot of our students do, and employees learn different languages. When they have to go to meet a German client, they have to learn German, and they spend 3 months learning German and French, because in those places English doesn't help. So there are a lot of things that we do as part of, making ourselves, we adapt ourselves to the different circumstances. So it's just like that. You have to just use the language and make yourself more proficient in that. Again, we have a lot of resources available online. The next slide. A lot of applications available online for you to actually increase your vocabulary, your writing style, email writing. See, these are all things that are looked upon by companies when you apply for jobs. So a lot of that, a lot of resources available, even pronunciation, the net corrects you in terms of your diction, your pronunciation. Everything is available online. And you don't have to feel shy, because it's between you and the mobile phone. You get your corrections, only you can, you will hear, and you don't have to feel shy or inhibited. You can still continue to learn the language. So there are a lot of resources available, which is very good for you to actually use and better yourselves, right? Next, Govind. Resume. This is a big one, because in HR, we've seen a lot of students, right, especially from the same college, they would have copied and pasted the entire resume, especially at entry level. It is very important to bring out the best that you have done, be it some project that you have done, some work that you have done different from the rest of your college mates. I think that makes a lot of difference. We have seen people just copy paste the entire resume, sometimes even forgetting to update the name of their father, mother, or their date of birth. Small things, it's copy paste, which is just not what corporate is looking at, right? It will straight away go into the dustbin. You'll have to bring out what you can do best. Say as a during your graduation, you have done some project, you have done some work which is different, which others have not done. You have done a small assignment, maybe in a bank or a company, or you've done accounts for some relative of yours who has his own company. Somewhere you'll have to bring out where you have used your knowledge, where you have helped somebody build a solution, build a process. So all this is what we will be looking at in a resume. So it's very important how you position yourself in the market. Very, very important. You'll have to give out, what is it? Why should I hire you? As a hiring manager or a HR member, when I look at your resume, why should I hire you and not the others? So you should bring out that characteristic, that strength onto the table. So that's how powerful your resume should look. We're not asking for big things, but at least any small attempt that you have made, any work that you have done in that particular area where you're applying for, will be of immense help. It'll help us screening also. We will look at something that you have done which others have not done. So that's the power of a resume. And there are a lot of ways of putting it and highlighting your skills and talent. So that's something that we definitely encourage all of you to work upon. It's not as simple as just putting your qualifications. Well, all of you would be just the same graduation or whatever from whichever college and your percentage. We're looking at much more, what you can make a change when you come onto the job floor. So that is what we are looking at. So you'll have to make your resume interesting with a lot of skills and strengths that you bring to the table. That's what you'll have to showcase in your resumes. The next, Govind. Yeah. There are a lot of websites where you can go to look at the different kinds of formats for resume writing and interview tips on how to. I think this is more for when you move up that value chain and you're looking at interviews and how you can speak and all that. But at entry level, I think if you're able to communicate what you have learned and what you are eager to do, I think that's a job done for. It's more for advanced cases where you have 2-3 people applying for a job and there's just one vacancy. But at entry level, I think we have a huge requirement for talent. So I don't think there's so much of a war there. But nevertheless, any kind of tips on what to say at an interview and all that, you have a lot of resources available again online, which you can definitely look at. Next. Lot of online courses, right? A lot of students do a lot of online courses in areas of interest. So any online courses that you have done, any certifications that you have, all add value to your resume. And today, all these are available on the net, and you don't even need the certificates. If you can bring out what your learnings are from these courses, bring it out in your resume, that's more than enough. Because if you're able to answer the questions that the HR or the industry experts ask, I think they're more than convinced. They're not even looking at your certificate. So while most of these courses online are free of cost, it is only for the certification that you need to pay. So you don't even need to do that. If you have gone through these courses and you have understood and you're able to communicate at the time of interview, you say, I have done this course and I know we can do this in this particular way. I think the interviewer is already bought into the idea. He will not even look at your certificates. It's not a must, but it's more of your knowledge that you have gained, and how you bring that knowledge out to the interviewer is what we are looking at in industry. So again, here, it doesn't mean you have to spend money for the certifications, but your knowledge, in-depth knowledge of that particular course and what you have learned is very important. And that is what you will need to explain to the interviewer and bring it out in your interviews. That's what industry is looking at. They're not so much looking at the certificates that you have, the kind of scores that you have, high scores and all. Of course, we have a level of cutoff that is just to ensure that, we maintain a particular standard, and we have a lot of profiles. So we have to do that cutoff. But if you can bring out your experiences, your range of knowledge, I think that's what industry will definitely, you'll have an edge compared to the rest of the other people who are applying. There are a lot of online courses available. I don't have to tell you, Coursera, you have a lot, MOOC and everything. So you can do any of these courses online and get an in-depth knowledge of whatever it is that interests you, right? So that's something that it's good to have. It's good to invest in these kind of courses. Yeah. Next. Yeah, you have TEDx, you have Coursera, a lot of these courses. I'm sure you know more than me the kind of online courses that are available for you. So yeah, next, Govind. So we also, in addition to all these online courses that we have, Infosys has something called Infosys Springboard, which is an online learning platform open to anybody. You can register online and use this content. We have brought in content from all our learning apps, also from different courses, and brought it all together, right from technology to soft skills to English to any other interviewing skills. All of this, we have put up a lot of content on Springboard. Very useful. It's a free open software where you can actually an open source, where you can, anybody between the age of 10 and 22 or lifelong learners can log into this website and use the content that we have curated, giving you examples of on-job experiences where this technology is used, how it is used, live cases. So you can go right from a learning stage to becoming an expert to becoming a very proficient person in that skill. So there is a learning path which is defined. If you want to become a Java developer, there is a defined path that you take. Add all those courses to your content that you create for yourself, and you can go through that courses, and at the end you get certified also. So this is another very, very effective online learning platform with courses that are relevant to the industry, which will straight away give you an edge as to whatever industry is looking at. If you have these courses and these certifications, you can easily sail through any interview and job that you have required in this entire industry, not just Infosys, but anywhere. So this is another open source that we have created for anybody. And most importantly, for our college students to be able to use this, understand the various domains and the work that happens in these domains, and how you can master all of this so that you can easily get a job and further your career. So this is very important. You can take a note of this, the address of Springboard, and use it. You can use it, even your college can register. We can do mass registration, so you can just reach out to us. We will help you get all your students registered from a college perspective, and you could create your own learning path also. So there is this. So just giving you the various options. Yeah, next slide, Govind. Yeah, this is just something that about the multiple options that we have. Yeah, next slide. Like I also mentioned, there are various job opportunities available. No more are the traditional jobs in the market. We have a lot of bloggers who are making a lot of money and making a career out of their interest. We have content writers, and in BPM industry, we have a lot of requirement for good content writers. Training and development is a huge area now, especially with online opening up, right? We have a lot of such job opportunities open for youngsters like you. So you just have to choose your area and be best at that. That's all, we are looking at as part of, hiring in the BPM industry. So just to give you an insight into the kind of jobs that this industry has to offer. Yeah, Govind. Yeah, this is some stats for you in terms of the kind of employment opportunities that we have. And this is as inputs from the skill report, India skill report. Not relevant so much for you. I think you just have to understand where you fit in and look out for those opportunities. Yeah, next. Yeah, so these are the kind of competencies industry is looking at. Problem solving, because nobody is going to give you a solution. You will have to find out what is best works for your kind of role and give that solution to your managers and teams. So a lot of that communication I've already mentioned, teamwork, creativity, all of these digital skills. While you will be trained on the job, but a lot of this has to come out of interest. You'll have to understand what it means and come with some basic knowledge and information so that you can scale up as and when required. Of course, a lot of this confidence and drive to be agile, move, and not stay in one particular thing, because in technology nothing stays the same. Every second year or third year you have a change in technology. You'll have to relearn, reskill yourself, and upskill yourself at every point in time. And learning is a lifelong journey for all of us, including me, right? We were forced to change our ways when pandemic struck. We had to move from the offline mode to the online mode. So you have to learn a lot of new things. So at any point in time, we have to be ready for change and for learning. So that's something that you'll have to be open to. I think then, you have a lot more opportunities. Yeah. I think that's about it. Any questions? Open.
Shalini, this is for your update. I've connected the college with Springboard team. So Springboard team is working with them for registrations.
Okay. Thanks, Govind. Any questions from anybody?
ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಕೇಳಿ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಜುಗರ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೇ ಕೇಳಿ, ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ.
ಕೇಳಿ, no problem.
Dear students, if you have any questions, please clarify with the madam immediately.
Yes. I've spoken a lot, so if you have any questions, any points, we are ready to support. You can reach out to us. We can definitely clarify, and we can work with you also to understand. We do a lot of trainings for students. We do trainings for faculty to understand what this industry. I mean, I've just given you a brief in the last 45 minutes, but there's a lot more to this industry. So if faculty members also are aware of this, I think it's easier for them to take it back to the students also. So we can work with the faculty, we can work with the students and help improve that, bridge that gap between academia and industry. We are ready to do that. And that's part of what we do. So we can definitely extend that to your college. Our ultimate aim is that the students are able to find employment. So anything in that direction, we are ready to help, sir.
Sure, madam. Okay.
Any questions? Was that an overkill? A lot of information?
You can type in your questions as well in chat window.
Even you can ping a message in the chat box.
Yes, Rashmi, please go ahead. You can ask your question.
Is there a question on the chat box?
No,
No,
ma'am.
Rashmi raised her hand. I thought she has
Yeah,
questions.
Rashmi, go ahead.
Questions, please go ahead.
Kaylee. I don't hear.
Yeah, please unmute yourself and you can ask your questions or anything you want to share, you want to ask, anything is fine.
Okay, I think there is no question from our student side. Okay, then shall we wind up the session, madam?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Please reach out to me or my team at any point in time for any support. We're here to help you. Thank you
Yes,
very
sir.
much. Thanks
Okay,
for the
sir.
opportunity, sir.
Thank you very much, madam, for sharing wonderful information with the students and sharing valuable information and sparing your valuable time. Thank you very much, madam. And also,
Sir, one request before we exit the meeting, can everyone come on camera? We'll take a group photograph.
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Everyone, please.
Kindly.
Now, even if you are not ready to speak, please switch on your camera. Let's for a few seconds, we'll take a photograph and you can exit. You don't have to speak, just switch on your camera.
Good.
Kindly switch on your camera. All of you, kindly switch on your camera.
Nice to see Pushpa. Prasanna, come on. Dhanyashri.
Some more
Dushyant.
people, please come on camera.
All shy, yeah, sir. Very shy students.
Bunny, please, camera switch on, Madi.
Good.
That is it. How about others?
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And all the best to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank you,
ma'am.
sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
And thank you very much to the students who are joined through online platform also. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ananda.
Thank you, sir.